Hi everyone, Ian Stapleton here. I just wanted to run through a few tips, hot tips on how to use Zoom. Okay, so tip number one, make sure you test it out before you even get into a meeting. First thing, just to see what you look like, also to see whether you can hear the person properly and if your mic is set properly as well. I tend to use headphones because I can hear a lot better. And it just works out a lot better for me. So make sure you test it out before. Lock your meetings in with a password. This is really about not having random people just bomb your meetings, just randomly appearing. This is a great way of making sure you select who comes into your meeting beforehand. There's a lot of crashes out there. Make sure you have good internet connection, good ventilation. Good ventilation meaning not necessarily having the windows open, but having your doors, internal doors open, I would say. Internet connection is extremely important because you don't want to just be cutting out every second. So make sure you've got either your hardwired with an Ethernet cable or you've got strong wireless connection in that particular room. I always tend to keep my eye level about here. So you can actually see me, so I'm not scrumped down here or I'm not like in the corner up here. I tend to keep myself right there, so it looks a lot more professional, I find. I mean, I tend to just keep this as similar to a face-to-face meeting. Make sure that I'm quite smartly dressed and try and keep it as engaging as possible. There is an option to have a virtual background, so depending on whether you've got depending on what you've got in the background here, this is a spare room at my house, so it's fairly clear, but if you've got a load of clutter in the background, you can switch to a virtual background. It's pretty good, actually. Make sure you're on time for every meeting, at least 5 minutes before. You can set up something called a waiting room, so the people wait in the waiting room, they know that the host hasn't arrived as yet or hasn't enabled you into the main meeting, and it's a good way for you to screen the people that you've invited for the meeting. So it's a really good thing, enable waiting them. Okay, so we're going to keep it very clear. Keep the focus, keep it short. Make sure you turn off anything like your phone, or you're not checking your emails while you're on your laptop at the same time, because it's blatantly obvious for anyone else who's in that meeting that you're not focused on that particular meeting. So please switch everything off for sure. We have got stuff like chat rooms that you can, or breakout rooms that you can put people in. It's good to use the chat as well, so it just keeps that focus, make sure that people are still engaged within the presentation. And you can set up things like polls as well, which again is a great function for people to keep engaged within it. I'm sharing my screen now with this presentation, and there's also something called a whiteboard where you can collaborate with other people in the group, so they can have like pens, different colors that you can then scribble down on the whiteboard. It is a pretty good function, actually. And that's it. Just allow everyone to have a talk, speak. Might be an idea to set up rules at the beginning of your meetings, so at least then if someone needs to talk, there's a little function where you can put your hand up and people will see that in the chat, and leads the host can say, oh, blah blah's got his hand up now, then let's let them talk. So anyway, just a couple of tips there. Tried to keep it short and sweet. Ian Stapleton, hope you have a great day. Stay safe.